Hello YouTube. We are back. We are back. Back in the food forest, in the backyard. And I want to talk to you guys about something. Spring is here. The weather's starting to get really nice. The bees are all flying around and all of the plum trees are starting to flower and get their nice white flowers. Even the peaches are really starting to flower, looking really nice. And I've got all different types of peaches, so they're all different colors. They're shades of like pink and red and a little bit of purple in some of them. But about 2 years ago, I planted a bunch of seedlings of Chickasaw plum. And this is what they look like. They were just little guys, and as you guys know, I like seedlings. I like stuff that's not grafted. It does better for me, and there's less issues. Now, not necessarily with what I'm about ready to show you. It doesn't matter if the damn tree's grafted or not. But we're going to talk about black knot fungus. It's native to this area in eastern Tennessee and in the southeast. And there's a lot of native plums around here. And I bought Chickasaw plum seedlings because I thought it would be resistant to it. And I've always wanted to try a Chickasaw plum. And I've learned the history of the Chickasaw plum and the Chickasaw Indians. And it's just really cool plum trees, but the seedlings I bought are obviously not native Chickasaw plums. They sent me some other shit, and when I mean shit, look at this. Now, Chickasaw plum is a wild plum, and it should be resistant to this black knot fungus right here. And I mean, this whole tree is just completely covered in it. Look at that. And this right here will kill your tree eventually. If not, it's going to make it a retarded tree that just has issues, and it's just, I would rather yank these guys out and start fresh with something that does do good, like some other types of plums, like this native plum that I found growing around here that does not get that. It's resistant to this, and I've showed them in previous videos. I'll actually put a link right up here to the wild plums that I have on the property. And look at that. This will eventually kill your tree. It'll stifle growth, and it's not going to be a healthy tree. And it didn't start until last year, and these seedlings I got were about a foot tall. So it's done some good growing. I've caged it up since then, and I think I probably planted about 6 of these guys. I've got another one right over here that I can show you that also has it. Now, just like this tree that I was going to cut down this winter and just never did, this here is some type of Santa Rosa or some type of European plum. This also has it. Now, a lot of people say, you know, oh, you need to cut that out, and you need to burn it, and you need to get rid of it, you need to do all these different things. Well, damn it, it's native to this area. It doesn't matter what I do. There's black cherries that are just everywhere. There's native plums everywhere. And it's better off having a native plum tree. It might not be the fruit that you're looking for or as big. It might be a smaller, native plum. But guess what? You won't have any issues with it. It's not going to die and turn into a dead tree, and you're just not going to have issues with it. And now this, I'm kind of bummed out about this one because this one was doing the best for the first few years. And you can see, look at it all. Look at all that nasty black knot. And, I mean, yeah, you can cut it off, but how many years in a row do you want to have to keep starting over with, a pruned up, retarded fruit tree that's not going to grow naturally and be a nice, tall, central leader tree and be healthy and tall and fruitful and live a long time? I'm more concerned about trees being healthy and longevity versus production. I've went into it many times with people, oh, you got to prune it, you got to do this, you got to take out the central leader, and you got to do all these different things, and all you're doing is creating way more work for you in the future, and every year you have to prune it more and more and more and more. Whereas I would rather just have a nice, tall, central leader tree, and kind of like this apple tree right here. Nice, tall, central leadered apple tree. You can see this central growth. The trees want to be trees. They want to grow nice and tall like these maples back over here. And apples can get huge. And you know what? it's not about production. If you have a small yard, if you're not planting thousands of trees and having a bunch of migrant workers pick it, it doesn't matter if it's within reach, because fruit will fall when it's ready to eat, when it's ripe. And you just go ahead and give the tree a little shake sometimes, and that's how you get your fruit. But what I'm talking about today is this black knot and what in the hell I'm going to do about it. And the only thing I'm going to do about that is yank these damn things out of here and replace them with peaches. The peaches do fantastic here, and they are also in the Prunus genus. They're also Prunus, but they're resistant to it. It's only cherries, certain cherries, and certain plums. Now I could put some cherries in here and stuff, but hell, I got a good deal on some peach trees, so that's what we're going to do. And I'm going to show you guys the really nice peaches that I've got to replace these infected plum trees. Oh man, look at the little growth. They're already starting to grow. Sorry guys, you gotta go. Alright, now these are the 2 peach trees that I've got to replace those 2 plums that I just showed you. Now the first one I've got is called a Scarlet Prince, and these are a white-fleshed peach that has a really dark red. Oh, that's not a Scarlet Prince. But it's a white flesh peach with a dark red scarlet color to it. And the flowers on these are a lot more red than they are like a pink or a light purple. But this one here actually flowers a little bit earlier than the other ones. It's more of a southern variety. And look at this. Look at the hack job on this one. Now normally I wouldn't even buy this tree. Someone completely hacked off the central leader and turned a side branch into what the tree wants to become the central leader again. Now I'm going to leave that. What I'm going to do is I'm probably going to plant it at an angle, and eventually over time it'll straighten out. And even if not, you know, it'll be a bush peach tree instead of a nice tall healthy peach tree like I have on the property. But I've also showed how to fix this, how to turn a normal branch into a tree. You know, there's ways to fix that to allow your tree to have a central leader and to be a nice full tree. And I've got a video, I think, that I haven't uploaded yet, it took me all season last year showing different parts and different times when to do it. And I'll have that, probably be the next video I'm going to do. But that's the Scarlet. And then I've got a Reliance. I took the tag off, but this is a Reliance peach. And my big, tall peach tree that's like 30 feet tall that I've showed you guys in the past, nice, tall central leader, is a Reliance. And I like the flowers on these. The flowers on these are a really, really light pink, and they get kind of purpley, and it's got a lot of nice new buds growing on it, and some new growth growing right here. And this one hasn't been hacked up as much. This one's actually a nice, tall, straight, central leader tree, and one of these branches right here, the tree will decide what it wants to become the central leader, and it'll fill out as it goes. And it hasn't been hacked right here and forced to grow side branches into a damn octopus looking thing, you know, upside down spider web that's just going to cause way more issues later on down the road. And it's going to get so full that I can only put a few trees in here, whereas if it's a nice tall central tree, you can fit more in there. That's what's important for me. I want to fit as many trees in here as possible without having to cut them down in 5 years because I have no sunlight and I have no space for them. So if you have nice tall central leader trees, they get nice and tall and start to bush out up at the top instead of it being, you know, 20 feet wide and it's only maybe 10 or 15 feet tall. That's not what I'm looking for here. And that might be what you want, but that's not what I want, guys. And look at this. Look at the nice blooms on this one right here also, too. So I'm going to replace those infected plum trees with these really good varieties of peaches. Now, I've only planted about 1 or 2 of these Scarlet Princes before, and they're doing pretty good. They're over there with the boys. Yeah, I've got a whole bunch of garbage, spring cleanup that I'm trying to do. Gandalf is in the pile. Gandalf just completely fell apart, so he didn't do a good job as a scarecrow last year anyway, so yeah, that's Gandalf's mask and all his clothes and stuff. But But yeah, I wanted to talk about that. I wanted to talk about the black knot and what I'm doing to combat that. I've cut the branches off. I've cut them off of some of my bigger plums that they're just so big that it'd be hard to replace them now at this point. I will probably replace them eventually. But it's easier to get them while they're young, put something in there that's going to do better. I have noticed that all of the European and Japanese plums will get that. If you can find a native plum, basically what's used as rootstock. If you have rootstock growing out of a plum tree, that's tough, that's resilient. The fruits might be a little bit smaller, might not be as tasty and stuff, but hell, you're going to get some plums and you're going to have a healthy tree that you don't need to worry about or maintain or prune and hack it down to just a little stick just so that way it'll grow. But yeah, I'll let this one here grow, the Scarlet Prince. Hopefully I won't have to mess with it too much. It'll just straighten itself out on its own and allow this central leader right here to be the main trunk of the tree. And this one I've started out already and gotten that. Now I don't recommend people do potted trees because sometimes you get this root ball and it just grows into a root ball. It doesn't allow the roots to do what it wants. Start out with bare root trees. Start out with bare root fruit trees, and it takes a little bit longer for them to grow, but you'll get a healthier tree later on in life, and it'll live a lot longer, and it'll just be a better tree, less maintenance, because that's the key. I've got over 100 fruit trees on this property. I don't want to spend all winter maintaining them and pruning them and hacking away at them and trying to get them to do this and get them to do that, and then they get too bushy and I got to cut them out and replace them and make light for them. I'm just going to put them in the ground, let them be a straight central tree. If half of this tree dies because of this root ball, then I'll just train one of these branches right here into the tree, into the central leader, the trunk of the tree. And what I normally do is I would just cut it right here like this, leave about an inch, and then I would bend this branch over and allow it to go straight, and the tree will want to be a straight, tall tree. And fruit doesn't always have to be within reach, guys. It'll fall to the ground when it's ready. And you know, if you're elderly or you just don't want to have to wait for your peaches to come, you want to pick them early, or you're just damn lazy, you can always keep the tree short and stuff like that, and then hey, you got a peach, peach right there. But a nice tall tree will produce more pounds of peaches per tree, so you'll get more pounds of fruit. The fruit might be a little bit smaller, but it'll live longer and it'll provide more fruit for you over time and just be a healthier tree. So this is what I'm replacing these plums with. I've got 2 over here, the ones I've just showed you, and then I've got 3 over in the seedling food forest, the young food forest that I've showed you guys in the past. And I don't have replacements for those just yet. I want to replace them with these wild plums. I just got to find a nice, good, inconspicuous spot out in the country to dig them up alongside the roads and everything like that. And they're runners. They like spreading. These wild plums that grow native around here, they don't get that black knot, and they spread. They get little suckers all around the base, and you make a patch. There's like a patch of plums. Really, really cool. Here's a big peach tree. This is one that I've left to be really bushy, and see, instead of a central leader, it's got a whole bunch of them. It's got all this stuff going on. And this is going to shade out a lot of the other trees. And I just got this one. And I said, you know what, I'm just going to leave it and let it do its thing. I'll probably replace it later on, 10, 15, 20 years from now. But I also have a seedling peach that I fixed that you'll see in a future video that I've had to fix this tree. Now this was a peach seedling that I put some peach pits in the ground right here next to my hazelnut bush, and I didn't even realize it. And when I came in here with my weed whacker, I cut it down. So I had to train this tree back into a tree instead of it being this little short bushy thing. So this was a seedling last summer, and it's already about 4 or 5 feet tall. But look how it's a nice tall central leader tree. The branches grow away from each other, how a tree is supposed to be. That way you don't have branches growing into each other and creating a gnarly, nasty mess that needs to be maintained and pruned all the time. Otherwise you won't get any fruit. This will fruit on its own and do its own thing, and be a nice healthy tree for 20, 30 years instead of 10 years like most pruned peach trees become. And I already have some nice growth. It's going to keep growing upwards. So that's it. I'm almost out of breath. I've covered just about all of it. Black knot is a nasty fungus that you just have to deal with when you live in the South. And you can see it on there, right here. Nasty black knot, and it grows as like a giant wart right through the wood. I've tried to cut the stuff off and leave the branch, but eventually over time it just causes issues. So the best thing to do with this thing being little is I'm going to yank it out and replace it with those peaches. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you on the next one. I'm glad to be back. Beautiful weather. Glad to be back in the food forest, talking to you guys, sharing everything that we're doing here. And stay tuned for some more food forest videos and some no-nonsense, real permaculture food forest videos where I give it to you straight, guys. I give it to you straight and easy. And you can digest it or not. You can take it how it is. This is what I'm doing. Thank you guys for watching.